Hello guys, welcome back. So you want to learn Kotlin and don't know where to get started? Well, I have got you covered. In this video, we will talk about ways to learn Kotlin efficiently and fast. So without further ado, let's get started. Now let's see the complete Kotlin roadmap in a nutshell. So this video will cover ways to learn. So you have to understand the ways which you can use to learn Kotlin. Also, we use the development environment, which environment will you develop, and the basics of Kotlin. Also, we are going to speak about practicing, how you're going to practice your code, also Googling your errors and your code. Also, we are going to speak about perfection. And after that, we are going to speak about what's next after learning all of these things. So now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, let's speak about ways to learn. So there are different ways which you can use to learn Kotlin, and there are numerous ways, so you can pick which suits you best. And the first one is hands-on tutorials. So these are tutorials which walk you through step by step. They are good starting point but will limit your skills. It is a good for those who learn best with visual approach. So if you are a good visual learner, you can use this approach to learn your Kotlin code. And they are good to give you an introduction, and it's beginner friendly. So you can use this, but it's going to limit you to those skills. Now, there is another way which you can use to learn Kotlin is using books. They offer a good starting point with a lot of examples and exercise. They are good for readers, learners. So if you're a good reader and you prefer books over tutorials, you can choose books. However, books get easily out of date since new technologies arise every day, and it is difficult to update a new book because just a new feature has been launched out. So it's going to take years to update a book. So you're going to stay with those deprecated methods or deprecated technologies. So you have to use another way. And there is another way, which is official Kotlin docs. The documentations contain numerous information and is regularly updated with new features. These are good reference point to your learning journey, however, are difficult to understand for beginners. So if you are trying to pick up the Kotlin docs, you are going to lost in a jungle. So you should have another reference point where you are going to learn something and you are going to the official documentation and to get another information. So it is difficult for beginners to learn with only Kotlin docs. However, for efficient learning, you can try to combine all of these methods and you can use them in your journey for best way to learn your Kotlin. Now let's speak about the development environment. So the development environment, there are several ways you can practice and write your code, and these ways which you can use, they differ in terms of difficulties and different features which you can use them. So if you are good on one of them, you can try to use it in your advantage. So we have the first one, which is the command line. You can execute any Kotlin code directly in the command line. However, it is not beginner friendly. There is no error checking, no code completion, thus it is difficult to write code on the command line. So if you are just a beginner and you don't know anything about programming, I recommend you not to use the command line because it's going to be difficult and you're going to stagnate in just executing your code. Then there is another way, which is using the IDE or the integrated development environment, meaning that there are numerous of IDEs that you can use to write your Kotlin code. They offer intuitive UI with code completion and error checking. Thus, it's the best way for beginners and professionals to learn Kotlin because it's going to save you tons of time, because errors are going to be showing up and it's going to help you to complete certain codes. So you don't have to memorize everything. So using this is the best way, and I recommend you can install IntelliJ IDE Community Edition, which is made by JetBrains, the one who developed Kotlin. So it is free. Just navigate to JetBrains website and download the free version and you are good to go. Also, there is another way, which if you don't want to install anything, you can just go to Kotlin Playground. And this is an online platform that allows you to write and execute any Kotlin code in your browser. No need for any installation, just your browser. So navigate to Kotlin Playground, write your code and run it. This is the quickest way to get started. That's it, just simple. Now let's speak about Kotlin basics. These are important concepts to learn them. They apply to most of programming languages, thus understanding them is really important for your journey. So learn about variables. So variables help you you must understand how to declare a variable, the difference between read and write variables, and when to use one and not the other. So there are different ways to declare variables in Kotlin, so you have to understand different ways which you can use to declare variables. Also, you have to understand about data types, learn about different data types exist, how to use them, and when to use a data type, like for example a string or a number or an array, and not the other. So you must understand these concepts, which are really important in your journey. Also, you must understand about functions, so learn about ways to declare a function, how to use them, creating argumented functions, functions that return a value, and the like. So you must understand these functions, which creating a custom function is all about Kotlin. So you're going to use a lot of functions in your journey. Also, you must understand control flow, the logic of the app, how to control your code execution, for example using the loops or the if and when statements, and using other control ways which you can control the execution of your code. Also, let's speak about the objects and classes. This is an important topic to understand, since you will probably use it every time you code. Learn how to create a class and different types of classes and how to use them efficiently. Also, there is another important concept, which is inheritance and polymorphism, which is really crucial to understand it in order to create robust apps and robust classes and objects. Also, you have to understand about generics. Generics helps you to write code that is type safe, thus avoid writing buggy code, since errors are shown during compiling time. So you can just figure out the error during compilation and not the runtime. Also, you have to understand about corrections. You will want to store a lot of data, thus collections are a good way to store a list of data. You can use arrays, lists, and maps and different ways, and there are mutable and immutable collections in Kotlin. So you must understand them in order to use them efficiently and perfectly in your code. So these are some of the topics which will get you started. After that, you can learn other advanced concepts such as lambdas and higher order functions, coroutines, and other advanced topics. After learning the basics, you have to practice what you learned. Create your own project from scratch. This will help you practice your code, which is really important in cementing your knowledge and what you learned. This also will help you develop logical thinking like a computer, and solve different problems. Also increase your problem solving skills. Developing is not all about writing code, rather solving problems. Hence, if you practice, these skills will come with time. So practice a lot and be patient. Make a lot of mistakes and learn from it. Thus will make you a good programmer. Don't just depend on tutorials only in order to learn. So practice a lot and make a lot of mistakes in order to become a good programmer. Another important skills to add is how to Google and get information you're looking for. You will probably get stuck, and there is a higher chance someone had solved a similar problem. Don't just copy and paste the code which you found in the internet. Understand and develop your skills. So there are different websites like Stack Overflow and other places where you can get information. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Try to look for information out there in order to develop your skills. Now, let's speak about perfection. A lot of beginners get stuck because of trying to write the perfect code. Make mistakes and learn from it. Actually, perfection is a stagnation. Focus on understanding, and quality code will come with time. So don't focus on trying to follow all of the best practices. Just make a mistake and learn from it, and quality code will come with time. Lastly, this is not the end. So what next? Keep on learning. You will become fluent only if you keep on learning. Find your motivation to learn, since there are a lot of ways I invented every day. Thus, keep updating yourself with new technologies, and for that you can become fluent in certain languages. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's helpful, please provide a like and don't forget to subscribe. We upload videos every day. See you in the next video. Thank you.